Hi, Facebook. Happy Tuesday. Hello, hello, hello. Turn up my volume so you can hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Coach's Corner. I do want to go ahead and get started. I have quite a bit of information to share with you today. Hi, Thomas. Thanks for joining. Can you hear me okay? Yes, so I have quite a bit of information to share today. I am Brittany Dent, the Teen Choice Coach, and this is the Coach's Corner, where I invite you into my corner and share with you some things that can help your teenager and help you help your teenager, okay? And so today's topic is protecting your teen. And this topic, I thought about it a few weeks ago in a different regards, and then, of course, we all know what has happened in Florida last week. And then even here in North Carolina, we've had several threats and lockdowns and different things that are dangerous and pretty scary for middle schools and high schools here. And so I want to talk about protecting your teen, okay? And so a few weeks ago, I was driving down a pretty busy highway, and there was a child, probably about 4 years old. She looked 3 or 4 years old, and she was crossing the median of this highway by herself. The adult was a few yards behind and getting ready to cross as well. And I stopped, on my brakes to avoid hitting this child, this toddler. And I was really disturbed by the situation because I felt that it was the adult's responsibility to protect this child from the highway. And so I was really appalled that this, I was really seeing this happen. But even from a young age, there are some children who do not receive that protection that they need. And then even more so as teenagers, sometimes parents just let teenagers go, let them free, let them loose, and not really try to protect them and keep them safe from various things. Okay. So one of the things you want to be mindful of, so much has happened just in the last 7 days since I've been here on the Coach's Corner. But just a couple things before I discuss as far as the school shooting and what you can do to prevent those type of situations or to prepare your teenager for those situations. But we have a case where teenagers are putting their gummy bears or their gummy candies in Ziploc bags and soaking it with alcohol, normally vodka. And then they'll take those gummy bears to school and give them out to their friends, their teammates, their classmates, etc. And those teens are just ingesting all that alcohol when they think they're just eating gummy bears. Okay, so that's one thing you have to protect your teen from, is the things that they may eat or things they may receive from classmates or friends at school. Not only are they putting alcohol in gummy bears, teenagers now, middle school is where this situation occurred that I dealt with recently, are putting alcohol in water bottles. And so clear alcohol, they're putting those liquids in water bottles and taking them to school and giving their friends water to drink. And it's not water, it's alcohol. And so a lot of young people have been getting intoxicated or getting sick from this particular situation. And so just another thing to protect your teenager from the things they eat and the things they drink that they receive from classmates, okay? And then another incident I saw on the news recently, a teacher was sending nude photos to a student, okay? So you send your child to school and you think they're safe and you think they're okay, definitely in high school, and then you have teachers sending them nude photos of themselves. And so you have something else to protect your teenager from and to talk to them about, is protecting them from their teachers or even their coaches. There was a thing I put on my page a couple months back about a coach who was molesting students and sexually assaulting students. So we know that's been prevalent just last year with different professions. And so school is no different. Not every teacher or coach is appropriate or should be spending time alone with your teenager, okay? And then we have sexting, and I hope most of you know what sexting is. That's started a few years ago, but you have mostly girls sending naked pictures of their body via text message to a boy normally, and then he sends it to all the other students at the school. And so then you have to protect them from that reputation that is ruined, from that image, and from the embarrassment, and just all these other things that come with that. So a lot of things you have to protect your teenager from, and it's a sad situation that we have to address these things, but I want to give you something today that will help you be knowledgeable and be proactive and be able to know what your teenager is facing and dealing with, okay? And so with the school shooting situation that has happened, I've been praying for these families in Florida as I know many of you have been. And so it's not even just about protecting your teenager, but even protecting all children, all teenagers as well. And so I'm not sure if everyone watching knows this. And if you're not watching live and you're watching the replay, just comment, that you watched the replay and let me know what you thought about everything that I'm sharing with you today. But most of you know, but some of you don't, that I majored in sociology in college. I graduated from UNC Greensboro with a degree in sociology, but my concentration was criminology. And so I studied crime, white collar crime, blue collar crime, recidivism rates, different things. But my research, my most recent research, was on rampage shootings, okay? And I was looking at school shootings, church shootings, and workplace shootings. And I looked at firsthand accounts from these shooters because I wanted to know their reason for doing what they did, right? Don't you want to know when you see whatever crime take place, you wonder, why would someone do that? What provoked them to do that? That's normally what I ask. And so that is what I researched. And what I found was that there is no one profile of a school shooter, okay? There are trends and there are facts and statistics, the demographic of most of the school shooters. But the main thing that I found in my research is that the motive is because they want revenge. And the revenge is because they felt rejected. And so they've become isolated, lonely, bullied. I know you hear people say, bullying is what's causing these fights and these shootings. And to an extent, it is, okay? Whether this rejection comes from the professor, from a girlfriend, from a classmate, when these teens feel that way, they want revenge, and they go about getting that revenge in different avenues. And one of those is violence, which is an extreme way, but that is the reason that a lot of these shootings take place, whether it's school, workplace, or church. Well, the first one with Dylan Roof was a little bit different. But there's not a specific profile for a school shooter. And so teaching your teenager what to look out for is not going to be, oh, he's going to be this tall or this color or wear this, because it could be a female. We have not yet had that, but it very well could be. If they're feeling rejected and they're being isolated and they're being bullied, they could do the same thing that these guys have done. And so you want to be mindful of that and notice the warning signs from that, okay? And I talked with a lot of teachers on my telesummit that I had a while back, and one of the guests talked about knowing your child and understanding their body language and knowing them so well that even if they come home and say, my day at school was fine, you can look at them and tell that that's not true and begin that conversation to kind of pick apart what's going on and how you can best help them get past whatever situation they're going through. Does that make sense? And so there's a lot of things that, the schools can do. And even as a parent, you can get special backpacks and special bookcases and special door stops and things like that to, deal with a situation once an attack has begun. But my goal and everything that I'm doing here as a teen choice coach is to help you be proactive and prevent these tragic situations, or even not so tragic, but just prevent unwanted situations and unsuccessful things in your teenager's life. And so what I want to recommend is 3 things for you to do. I want you to check phones, check rooms, and check friends, okay? Check your teenager's cell phone. You probably paid the bill, so you have the right to anyhow, but you will learn a lot in these cell phones. Now, I have to do a whole different segment one day on how they have things in their phone that might look like it says mom's phone number, but it's really something else, maybe a drug dealer's phone number, or how they have apps that look like it's for tutoring, but it's really for pornography. And so that's even, a different conversation. But check their phone, just randomly check and see the phone call log, the text messages, the GPS, where they've been, different things that you can see on their phone. So check phones. Also check rooms, okay? My best friend growing up, we had gotten into some trouble, she and I, and her dad ended up taking the door off the hinges to the room. We had no door on the room, so whatever we were doing, good or bad, if parents walked by, they could see us, okay? And you don't have to go to that extreme, but check in their rooms. Even in the Columbine situation, which was our first mass school shooting, the parents said they were unaware that their kids had all this stuff in their rooms to plan this attack, okay? I'm not sure if you've heard, there was a dad in Maryland a few days ago who turned his daughter in because she was planning a school shooting at her school in Maryland, and he found the journal with all her plan written out and turn her in because he was in her room unannounced, searching and checking, okay? And so he saved some lives. You don't want to be the one that misses something because you didn't check the phone or you didn't check the room, okay? Check phones, check rooms, and check friends. If your teenager has friends that do not want to be around you as an adult, then that's probably a red flag, okay? And I've talked before, even in other videos and other calls and things like that, about being the house that the friends come to, okay? Being that person and that parent that they can come to, good or bad, and so you'll know what is going on ahead of time and possibly save lives or prevent something tragic from happening, okay? So check phones, check rooms, and check friends. And the last thing is, don't underestimate your child or your teenager. Many times the parents are always saying they're in shock and, my kid would never do this. I can't believe my kid thought of something like this. But let me give you an example. My dad drove school buses, and he had one student on his school bus. He told me this story that was just throwing things and cursing and standing up instead of sitting down and just doing all these things that you should not do on the school bus. And when he told the parent said, "No, Mr. Moore, you're lying. There's no way my child would be doing all those things on that bus. I don't believe it. My child is great and well behaved. I don't believe my child would do that." And so what my dad did was bring in the parent and the principal and the video camera from the school bus and showed the parent what the child was doing, and it was exactly what my dad said the child was doing. So do not ever underestimate your child. I've had numerous situations where the student acts one way at home and one way at school, whether it's good or bad, but their behavior may not be the same, definitely depending on the friends or the other things that they're dealing with, okay? So you want to make sure that you're checking phones, checking rooms, and checking friends, okay? And never underestimate your child. Anyone can surprise you at any moment. And so I want to leave you with 2 resources that you can use when we're talking about protecting your teenager, whether it's from pornography, pedophiles, from drugs, alcohol, or even from school shootings and violence, those situations. One source is called Teen Safe. And you can go online, you can Google Teen Safe, TEENSAFE. And with Teen Safe, you can get a free 7-day trial. After that, it'll be $15 a month. And what you can do with this system is track your teenager's GPS, their text messages, and their web browser history on their electronic devices, okay? And so that is totally up to you as a parent, grandparent, teacher, aunt, uncle, whatever. If you want to track what your teenager is doing, I know some families believe in privacy. Like I mentioned about my best friend's dad, he didn't believe in privacy in his household. And so these are some ways you can keep your teen safe and everyone else's child safe as well. And it's called Teen Safe. And I'll try to post a link on my page in just a little bit. A second resource that I'm super excited about is a live workshop that I have coming up next month, okay? March 24th, I will be doing a workshop in Winston-Salem, North Carolina at the Hawthorne Inn and Conference Center. And I'll be discussing some ways that, you can be proactive, and learn some things about your teenager that can help you help them. So I'll post the link for that as well, okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you watched the replay, let me know you watched the replay. And I'll post those links for Teen Safe and for the workshop in just a little bit, all right? Thanks so much. I'll talk to you next Tuesday here at the Coach's Corner. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.